Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Gran Terra Rebirth, our 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons actual play series. I am John, the executive producer here at Final Show Films, and the game master for the evening, as I drag these hapless, witless, confused masses through my world of invention. With me today is William.
I'm William, and I'm playing Baldrin Ironhand, Dwarven Cleric of the Forge.
Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I am playing Selena, the Fire Genasi, Chaos Mage, Sorcerer, Trouble Causer.
And Cody.
I'm Cody. I'm playing Corbin, the Human Fighter.
And Aaron.
Hi, I'm Aaron, and I'm playing Nyx, the Druid of the Abyss.
And Sarah.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I'm playing Five, a Drow Sorcerer.
And when last we left our denizens of Gran Terra, they sort of all came together under very unusual circumstances, some of them being roped into a cart and dragged into town, others of them having been in town of their own free will and accord, and still others having been kicked out of their former girlfriend's house. And as they all sort of congressed in the center of town, the abyss, this dark, writhing mass of energy and mist that sort of informs the edge of the world as it currently stands, roiled up and spit forth a vast collection of creatures, which most of the people in the group helped to fend off. One of them decided to take this moment to flee captivity, and the other one just sort of standing there, occasionally lighting a goblin's clothes on fire and not doing much. After the events of the battle, we eventually rounded everybody up and took them all to the Rangers, the headquarters of the Cornet Rangers, what seemed to be sort of the police force slash patrol force of the city of Kor that they all find themselves in. And by rounded up, I mean 3 of them came in full body iron chassis. Dragged on a cart by a 4th of them.
Abducted wrongfully, I would like to point out.
Unjustly
After
something.
Striking members of the guard with lightning.
Assaulted and abducted twice.
And have been thus far summarily interrogated. And mostly found to be innocent of any actual wrongdoing, mostly just word of caution and warning to those that might have random lightning bolts strike people around them, to be careful. And we find ourselves with one person is still being spoken to, specifically Nyx. But as Nyx is being spoken to, the rest of you, -5, are in the lobby of the Rangers' headquarters, eating. You've been asked to remain and not leave just yet. And so we find ourselves with a Dwarven Cleric, an Aasimar, an Aasimar person, a Fire Genasi magic wielder, a human member of the Adventurers Guild, all sort of milling about in the sort of entryway lobby of the Rangers' headquarters. So, what are you guys doing?
Eating.
Yep, eating, drinking,
Yes,
looking over the people that are here.
You have all been given food and wine. Food is fairly basic: meat, cheese, bread.
Wine's not strong enough.
I mean, I with nothing else to do, and once I'm done eating, I don't know. I'm gonna play some solitaire.
All right. So Selena pulls out a deck of cards.
Yes.
And just starts dealing them out.
And all of a sudden, the world vanishes. Game over.
And it's playing solitaire. Corbin, are you looking at anything in particular, trying to ascertain any information, or are you just sort of staring?
I'm just looking them over, kind of sizing them up. I know that the Azamar and the Ganassi were brought in. Like I watched them get brought in on the
cart.
in the Iron Band. So obviously they didn't do nothing, but just keep an eye on everybody.
Are you trying to just in general watching? What about
Yeah,
you,
just
Bolton?
in general watching, just eating,
Yep.
looking everybody over.
You just keeping to yourself, Baldrin, or are you trying to engage with anybody?
Mostly just keeping to myself, just
Right.
having my food and waiting for more information.
Seems legit.
There are occasional glares tossed over in that direction.
They are met with a just doing my job, just kind of a smirk, just like.
5. So
Yeah.
you have a plate of food in front of you, a goblet of wine. You're sitting in a room with the door open by yourself. What are you doing?
Yep. Just sitting there.
Anything
He told
you wanna do?
me not to go anywhere. So
He told you not to leave the building. He didn't say you had to stay in the room.
she doesn't understand that. So I will just sit there.
Okay. So you sit there eating your food, just chilling.
Yep.
All right. So then we return to Nyx's room. Nyx has just offered a bit of an explanation as to what had brought him there, and in response to this, Judicator Harita, the blindfolded woman whose eye areas were basically glowing from behind the blindfold, just sort of tilts her head and looks down. A small smile creeps across her face. Nyx, you feel this sort of vibration going down from the back of your skull down your spine. Just this tingle. This one is not telling any lies, Harita says. And you note the choice of word.
I gotta say, I really like this truth person because she doesn't give a fuck about what the cops are looking for. I feel like she's somebody who just likes to throw crazy shit out in the world and see what happens.
True, neutral truth detector. Lorian looks over at her, just sort of like, oh, I mean, that's fine. We sort of already knew you weren't the person we were looking for. It seems that my guards got a bit of a jump on their duties and forgot to fully read the brief. We weren't looking for an individual, but for an actual group of people. You were apparently taken by yourself, which sort of immediately rules you out. Know that those guards in particular...
That's what the hermit living alone thing is, yes.
The guards that unfairly brought you in will be duly dealt with. And we do extend our apologies, and if there's anything you would like in return, we will do our best to acquire it. That being said, we do have a request we would like to make of you, someone who has been living out on the edge of the abyss for a while, at least, if what you say is to be believed.
All right, what?
You will be compensated, but first we'll gather you with the others, because this is a task that you will not be able to undertake on your own. In the meantime, he waves a hand, and a completely separate guard comes in and with a plate of food and a goblet of wine, sets it down on the table for you. Here. You may eat, drink. If you'd like to join the others out in the lobby, you can. Please don't leave the building. I have a few more things I need to deal with, and then I will speak with you collectively. Right. And he stands up and leaves the room. Harita lingers behind slightly, just looking at you with her head tilted. Not saying anything.
Well, what do you still want?
That's not so much what I want. And then she leaves.
I'm assuming the appropriate phrase to yell after you is "fuck divinity."
There's no response.
That is the point. All right, I'm gonna go out, see what I see outside.
Right.
Take the wine with me.
The rest of you see Harita wander out and through the front door, not talking to anybody. And as she's walking, you notice that everybody that's in the lobby already make me perception checks.
Okay.
So that would be Baldrin, Corbin, and Selena.
20.
And let me just look at, since Hope isn't here yet.
Shouldn't be with advantage, but 5 either way.
What is their passive stealth?
Because I rolled a 6.
And a 6.
And a 6. One more.
All right, Selena, you're focused on your card game.
Yes.
But Corbin and Baldrin, you both notice. So Harita is just sort of staring off and like up and off at an angle, not paying attention to whatsoever, but walking a perfectly fine path. And both of you notice that Hope averts her gaze as Harita walks in and walks past.
Hmm.
And then Harita just leaves. At the short while after, Nyx walks out with food and drink.
Do any of them look... So, during my conversation with the head of the guards, he described apparently a sorcerer was the one to... This is me.
Yes.
Can I do like a perception check for who might fit that description?
Sure. Give me a perception check. Let's see how.
15.
So, only one of them. Actually, what sort of armor are you wearing, Baldrin?
I am wearing chainmail.
Okay, so only 2 of them are wearing any sort of heavy armor. And the prejudices that you have as a spellcaster yourself indicates that they can't possibly be spellcasters because they're wearing armor. So that leaves the Asimar or the Ganassi, really, are the only ones that would likely be spellcasters because they're fairly lightly armored.
Or not.
Asimar. Given that the Ganassi seems occupied with something, I'm going to walk up to her.
Yeah. Once you come out, she looks up and looks very curious.
Slide down at the table. So you're the fucker who electrocuted me?
Yes and no. No, I didn't do it. Yes, it happened. Because of a spell I cast.
Insight roll?
Sure.
Yeah.
That's a no. I didn't do it. Yes, it happened because of a spell I cast. Is a very
Yes, there is a very narrow.
It's not my fault. It's
That-
totally my fault.
the statement that was said is not a lie.
At all. 100% believes it. It's complex.
I think I like you.
Thank you. So you live out in the way out there.
At the edge, yes.
Yeah. Tell me about it. I'm curious.
The abyss roils and bubbles next to me and surrounds, and I make food and I eat, and then fuckers with swords and bows who think they own the world because civilization deems it so. Oh, decide it. Hey, that one's bathing.
Yeah, for real. Fuck those guys. Do you have a lot of experience with that sort of not being kidnapped? I'm not, although
The abyss.
That's a curiosity too, but yeah,
Indeed. It is
really.
a particular interest of mine. Are you
It
abyssborn
is.
and yourself?
Well, I just have a lot of. I have a. Let's call it a personal curiosity about the whole thing. I find it fascinating.
Fair enough.
And once we are, in somewhat more and less secure environments, I would love to talk to you more about it.
Indeed.
Great.
Meanwhile, 5. You sort of instinctively look up as a tall figure walks into the room. He is very smartly dressed, wearing well-polished black with red lined armor. Heavily armored with a long red cloak going down his back, short cut blonde hair, pointed elven ears with a spear slung onto his back, stepping into the room. Hello there. Lorian tells me you don't talk much. He moves in and sits down. Well, my name is Tithian. I run an establishment here in town that sort of partly looks after folks who are in need and also helps them find whatever they need. Is there something you need? No? Is there something you want? No? What's your name? Do you know it?
5.
Well, 5. Do you want to stay here, or do you want to leave? You don't know? What do you know?
Papa?
I have been called that a few times, actually, funnily enough.
Usually with a big in front of it.
No. You're a curiosity. If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to offer you a place to stay. I tend to take in strays.
Five.
What does 5 mean by that particular 5?
She doesn't really mean anything. She doesn't really want to go with this guy, though.
Okay.
She's not really sure what his intentions are, and she's had a long life of strange men coming to tell her that they're taking her somewhere.
Would she like to make an insight roll?
Yes, she would.
Make an insight roll.
Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have advantage.
That's fine. With a 4. He's very hard to read. You do know that he isn't telling you anything. He is asking, which is a difference from what you've experienced previously that you can recall. He doesn't seem particularly aggressive. He doesn't seem particularly forceful at all. Like, you're not getting a commanding vibe off of him. You're getting more curiosity and kindness in a general sense, but not like directed at anything. It's just he just seems to be a curious and polite person.
All right. Got it.
Well, if you change your mind, look for the Lionheart's Adventurers Guild. We house all manner of people that have no place to go and would like to put their skills to use. And he just stands up and waves a hand to you and walks out. Meantime, in the lobby with everyone else, after a while, Lorian does stick his head back in and look at you and realize that you're still in there. You don't have to stay in here. 5. You can come out to the lobby if you'd like.
5.
Right.
I pick up my stuff and I go out.
Okay. 5 eventually wanders out to the rest of you guys. And you do see Lorian and Tithian sort of stepping off into another room to have a conversation of some kind, and the door closing all of you can see that because you can see the door from the lobby. As 5 comes out, and now the rest of you are there. So we have a drow holding a plate of food and a goblet of wine, just wandering out.
Oh no, I'm not gonna take the food.
Okay, just a drow in what sort of clothes are you in? 5 currently? I've forgotten. Just ragged, burnt, singed leathers.
I think I'm just in a bunch of fired stuff. I have a backpack.
Yeah, this drow elf, this young female drow that looks like they were plunged through an inferno, just sort of wanders out into the lobby with sort of a not quite there look on her face.
I saw them set people on fire during the fight, so I'm kind of not too surprised by the look of their clothing, but you're all right, lass? You look distant.
Five.
This is the perfect makeup for the opening joke of a comedy set. Looking around the room.
So yeah, you're all there.
So
Turn to the dwarf and say, "Do you have any idea what they're holding us here for?"
Probably because they've got some kind of work they want us for, if I had to take a guess.
Alright, yeah, I'll take their gold if they can't do it.
So, after a few minutes, Lorian and Tithian walk into the lobby together. Well, we've asked you all to stay behind for a couple of reasons. Primarily, just to make sure that you all were duly rewarded for your work in pushing out the abyss creatures who attacked previously. Also, because we have a bit of an unusual request.
I
have a bit of an unusual answer. Let's see how they fit together.
Well, first of all, I know that not all of you in this room are the biggest fans of the Core Knight Rangers, he says, looking at the trio of people in one corner that got arrested and dragged in here in chains. I also know that our more experienced forces are busy to the north with some disturbances around Twin Rivers. So we're a little short on manpower that is both skilled and qualified, and many of you proved yourselves fairly, well, resourceful and capable in the previous scuffle. So, we have need of assistance. And then he turns over to Tithian. Tithian sort of just pats Lorian on the shoulder. What my good friend here is trying to say is that the Rangers need adventurers, and it just so happens that you all have the look of adventurers about you. Well, one of you I know for a fact is an adventurer because you're part of my guild, Corbin. But if you would all like, and know that you will be compensated, we're looking to have a team of people go and scout out along the edge of the abyss further to the south. The issue that our rangers unfortunately seem to have apprehended the wrong person about is that appears to be a gathering of some dark cult along the abyss edge, threatening the town of River's End to the south. A bit further south than where our friend indicating Nyx was found, they seem to have, he sort of looks over at Lorian, our brave and devout rangers appear to have jumped the gun a bit and saw the first thing that interested them and grabbed it. Regardless,
I'm shocked.
Those of you that fought in the battle, we could use your martial prowess in case these cultists are particularly dangerous or trying to summon forth creatures from the abyss or do God knows what. For the one that was brought in, we would appreciate it if you would lend us your expertise. Having been living out on the edge of the abyss for a while, you may be a little more familiar with the area than the rest of these fine folks are, and would potentially be helpful in locating these cultists. In return, any of you that want it will receive membership in the Lionheart's Adventurers Guild, which is steady pay, steady food, and steady lodgings. Also, a sum of gold, should you return with information or the cultists themselves. Does this sound like a fair deal?
Sounds fine enough for my taste, but the rest of these people, I'm just kind of look around the room.
I don't
I'm
mind
in.
guiding others, as long as they're comfortable around me.
I've got no problem with that. I look over at the target of my ire.
Me.
A moment. Yes.
Well, it would likely be more comfortable around
I
you
mean
than around
money
the
on
others.
him.
Also, we have a curiosity, Tithian says, looking over at 5. Neither one of us are quite sure what to do with this one. She doesn't quite seem to be responding to either of us other than to say the words 5 and Papa, which, quite frankly, we have no idea what to do with. So, if any of you think you could likely get through to her, feel free. If not, leave her here. We're not quite certain what you want to do with this one.
Mind if I try? I'll look around to the...
I reach over. Is there a bench? Is there a bench in the hallway?
Yeah. Like this,
I
this
reach
is the
over.
lobby.
I touch the bench and I light the bench on fire.
Actually, why don't you try? You're resistant to fire.
You reach over and... So the bench is not made of wood. It's made of stone.
Oh. What's the thing that's made of wood in the lobby? I just assumed the bench would be.
I mean,
Are there like cushions or something that are flammable?
There's the desk that the ranger sergeant is sitting at is made of wood mostly, wood and stone.
Okay.
That's a little bit further away from you though. You'd have to walk across the room to get to it.
Oh, never mind. What's is that the closest thing to me that's made of wood?
The plate you're holding is made of wood. Or no,
Okay.
no, you didn't bring out a plate.
I didn't bring the food out.
The plate that everybody else's food is on is made of wood, as are the playing cards that Selena is playing with.
Oh, do I see those? Are those out?
Yeah, those are out in plain view.
Oh dear.
I pick one of those up and I light it on fire with my hand.
So yeah, this drow just reaches over, picks up a card, and it goes...
5!
The
And
good
for my
news
next
is
trick.
that was the wild card, so the deck's still fine.
She picks up another one
As
and
I
holds
gather,
it up.
no,
She
as I try
doesn't
to
light
gather
it,
it
she just holds
up.
it up. 5.
Can I roll an insight
I
check?
will.
Sure.
$20. The fuck's going on?
I mean, I'll roll that.
Are
too.
you trying to hide your intent or what you mean by these actions, 5?
No.
What do those actions mean?
She has no fucking clue what this world is. She's never been here before. She doesn't understand any of it. She knows she can light shit on fire.
Okay.
She has no memory before falling. No memory of being in this place. She has some memories, but not quite sure what's happening. She's also not really a talker.
So
Alright, Nyx is gonna look
I'm gonna hold
directly
up-
at 5.
Hold up the plate and offer to trade the plate for the card.
Ooh.
It's okay.
Bigger thing to catch on fire.
It's
I take the card
very
and no, I don't.
confusing
I
not
don't
to
give you
have your
the.
memory.
I don't give you the card. I do both. 5.
I know. You're not the only one. It's okay.
I vaguely consider casting Chaos Bolt, but do not.
Well, this is going to be an experience, I feel.
I hold up my hand.
I will save that for. I will save doing damage for later.
You were. Put this. This is a new plane, a different world than the one you were in before. But if you give it some time, it does make sense. Now, the other people here, you might not remember them. And I don't know why you don't have your memories. And I know that it's scary at first but they're real people and you can hurt their feelings. And just destroying everything around you will make everyone else scared. It's okay if you don't want to talk. But
She's
Try and
literally
think
not
about
that bright. She's not that bright.
can I get... I guess it...
I mean, yeah, you definitely get that this is more of a childlike intellect that you're dealing with than
Yeah.
like
She's not.
Okay, so that's...
She's not willfully trying to
anyone
destroy
that's
things.
watching is seeing like someone who has never interacted with the child trying to explain something to a child
Yeah.
like they're like an adult.
Which is
human.
pretty much what you were just doing, which was
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
well done.
Yep.
5
Yeah.
is like a toddler. There's no clue.
So
Selena's like, I dealt with it just fine. She can too.
yeah, well,
Papa?
no. If you are if you're all prepared and ready and willing, I believe we have some information for you. And looks over at Lorian, who Lorian is pinching the bridge of his nose, and just sort of face down, trying not to be angry, as things are lit on fire in the lobby of his headquarters.
I gently push the whole deck of cards over to 5.
Serves him fucking right.
5
Le-
picks up the top one,
Leaving,
sticks it in her mouth.
slowly putting
and,
the
like,
actual
licks it.
case into her stuff.
Yeah.
She's
5
keeping
picks
that
up the
leather
top card,
case, but
licks it,
Mm.
and then looks at it like she's expecting it to be a cracker or something.
Right.
burn to your heart's content.
Well, the cultists in particular were sighted along the
I like
edge
this one.
of the abyss in the forest to the south. Specifically, somewhere in the forest between River's End and Core.
Have
Okay.
any more specific landmarks other than cities?
Civilian sightings indicate that they are likely at the fork in the river. or somewhere nearby, somewhere.
Would I know where that is?
Make a survival check.
Okay. Given that I live in the same area, even if
Yeah.
that's not exactly where my house was.
Yeah.
11.
So you sort of lived on the north side of the forest. This would be the forest grows up on one side of the river, heading from Core to River's End, and sort of like halfway down the river, it forks. Well, actually, something forks into it. Another river forks into it, and that is the only fork on that river, as far as you're aware. So you know roughly where it's at, and of course, thinking along the lines of the abyss, you know where, like, sort of the closest edge point would be. So you sort of have a rough idea of where you'd go along the edge and then turn and walk inland to get there.
I can get you there.
Well, that's good. Plans for that one, I say, pointing to 5.
She's all yours.
Oh dear.
Maybe you can work some
That's
of
fine.
your godly magic on her.
We can work.
Get her to talk more.
There's a reason I'm not a parent.
Right.
Gee, I could never
is-
guess what that would be.
Well,
It's actually because I don't want to deal with children.
you're all free to go, and if you complete this task, you have your reward set out for you. If you don't, have a good life. Please try not to electrify any more of my guards.
I mean, tell the universe not to electrocute any more of your gods.
Tell your guards to stop arresting random people for living in houses.
I'll do that.
Right, I'm good to go. As it just so happens, I happen to have all of my traveling gear with me at the time.
Because someone got
Would it be possible for me to retrieve
Someone
the
is not
things that
mentioning
were
that fact.
left
And
in the
I'm-
cart?
Sorry, go ahead.
Lorian looks confused, realizes you were unconscious, walks back to the cell you were in and grabs a bag that was in the corner and comes back out and hands it to you.
Thank you.
No problem.
I didn't know. I was.
That's on him because he didn't think to tell you it was there.
Selena looks over to Bolger and says, "Just for the record, regarding what we just our conversation we just had, I just want you to know, the entire universe thanks you."
It's adorable that you think you can get my blood up, lad.
Lass.
I know, I
You
said lad
know.
on purpose.
All right. Well,
This
Corbin
is gonna be
finishes
a
the wine in just one
good
gulp
group.
and puts down the cup. This is better pay well. Southgate, everybody?
Something. Nah, never mind.
So,
I'm assuming we're going to be let out of the south gate.
Yes, you are indeed being let out of the South Gate. Because this is the issue that they had closed off the South Gate to deal with, and since their fine rangers managed to fuck it up, our adventurers are going to handle it. Which means the gates are open.
Spectacular.
so, Nix, I believe it was.
Indeed.
Do you know the exact route we're taking, or do you know anything in the area?
Well, we'll go along the abyss. It's the most favorable route, and the one that, I mean, I've already been away too long. I should get back on that, soon. So, yes. I know where we're going.
If you've if you've not got a route in mind, I can potentially help get us there if you can give me landmarks or important locations.
Well, he said at the place where the river splits, it's a ways down from where I used to live, other side of the horse, that sort of thing. You just go along the abyss and then you turn in and the water starts coming. But we'll be going along the abyss because obviously.
Sure.
So
Trust
what
the
you're saying
guys.
is he's redundant. Good to know.
I mean, he can smash things with a sword all day. I don't really care. I don't do that.
It is sort of a dull.
Well, I'll provide us a little bit of extra guidance, shall we say? Once we exit the gate.
I'll head over to where Corbin is. I like your boss much better than the other one.
Yeah, it's a few less rules, but getting paid's getting paid. Is everybody ready?
I'm ready when you are.
Let's
Alright.
go.
5 or whatever you prefer to be called. Are you ready to get going? Or is there something else you need first?
5 shakes her head. As a reminder, Sarah, this is also being put out in podcast form, so shaking your head,
Oh,
while
yeah,
good
that's
for
right.
video, give us some audio, please.
That's right. My apologies. To the first question, I shake my head, yes, I'm ready to go. To the second question, I shake my head, no, I don't need anything else.
Well, then looking to
To the
the
south
person
gate we
who's
go.
presumably a local. Corbin, was it?
Yep, as soon as he saw her shake her head yes and then no, he's like, all right, let's go, and starts walking towards the south gate.
Does it seem like everyone's coming?
If we want some better transportation, I have a cart we can take.
Is it a pull cart or do you have?
That's a question for the GM. Do I have a horse with that cart?
Nope.
Or like a mule?
Yeah, you hand drove that wagon.
I mean, I've hand-driven it here, but we have some currency to purchase a horse to drive it along.
A horse on open ground is fine if it's just being ridden, but pulling stuff over uneven ground would probably want an oxen or something like that.
We could go for one of those, eh? Well, let's see what we can find while we're on our way.
What's in your cart? Isn't it a kiosk? Aren't you a merchant?
It's my shop. My weapons and arms.
Okay. I guess, yeah, if there's a livery somewhere.
We see if we can find an ox or something strong to pull the cart.
Make me an investigation check. Anyone who's looking around for oxen or some form of work animal.
I just walk everywhere. I don't know where any of the stables are.
3. Yay, +1 mods.
2, 3 investigation rolls. All right.
I'll look.
A 4 for 5.
Set investigation.
Yep.
Okay.
Get all those low rolls out early.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing that happens.
You know what? We haven't had a spell surge yet today, so just so I can make sure I have one when it's time, I'm giving myself advantage. And I rolled 2 6s.
Hey,
So
if we
that's
all add our
double
scores
play.
together,
Pair of 8.
we might get 20.
3,
For the record-
5, 8.
I rolled with advantage twice, one of which was unintentional, and both times I rolled the same number.
Let's see
Both
what
times it wasn't like a great roll either.
let's see
No.
what Hope rolls. Hope rolls a 20. So while you guys sort of like get out and like turn in various directions and go,
The first one was
Hope just like,
I'm
looks
like-
around.
I I wish I could just talk to the tree. I feel like the tree would know.
Hope just sort of looks around. No, I know a guy. Come this way, and Hope leads you guys out to towards the south gate, where there actually is like sort of a stablery. Typically, there is a sort of a coach for hire service. You can hire a caravan or a coach from Core to River's End, and other way around from Core to Twin Rivers or beyond. And sort of attached to the coach station, there is also a stablery that sells animals as well. And you can find a your cart isn't too terribly big because you're not too terribly big. So all you'd really need is like a donkey to pull it.
Yeah, a mule.
And you can certainly find a mule or a donkey for 8 gold.
8 gold?
Yep.
Sure.
All right, guys, I'm gonna go. I will see you hopefully next week.
Yep.
Thank you for being so understanding.
That's fine.
Just have John throw in some 5s and papas, and that's basically me. Light something on fire.
I will do my best to do that.
Okay, thanks. I'll see you guys next week.
All
See
right.
ya.
We're actually going to take a quick break for just a couple minutes while Sarah pops out. We're going to be back in just a few minutes while I adjust things. So go ahead and stretch your legs, get a drink, do whatever you need. We'll be back in a couple minutes. And we're back. And I'm echoing in somebody's... I'm echoing in... I think it was Aaron.
Aaron's.
Yep.
Yes, I know. I tripped things over. Sorry.
Anyways, so you have all just been released from the Rangers headquarters in Core, with sort of the request to sort of go and find out any information and potentially deal with this sort of the actual cultists that the Cornet Rangers failed to grab because they saw the first thing that they saw the first thing that they found and jumped on it, rather than continuing to investigate further.
Amateurs.
I mean, all the experienced guards are in the north apparently. So.
Yep.
So you have gone to the south gate. Hope sort of led you guys to the stables. The stables out by the coach service, and that's where we left off. So, are you going to buy a donkey for 8 gold?
Yes, I've already marked the gold off.
So yeah, Boldrin has bought a donkey for his cart, and you are all at the door. 5 at the south gate. 5 is just sort of sitting in the cart, idly looking at the wooden aspects of it and twitching.
Now that we are at the south gate, I'm going to ritual cast Guiding Hand.
All right. So Boldrin takes a few minutes, and
because the only information that we've really been given is the fork of Twin Rivers. Or the fork of River's End. I will name that as the location, the fork of River's End, where the guiding hand is leading to.
The fork between Core and River's End.
Yeah.
So yeah, an ethereal, a sturdy, bulky, hairy, divine light hand appears, and just points to the south.
That'll keep us on the right
Well,
track.
I'm
Let's
headed
get
to
going.
the edge of the abyss.
Nyx immediately takes a right and walks away.
I'm not headed too fast for them to keep up. But
I'm with the guide, so I turn and follow Nyx.
Fine. It didn't even take any energy to really perform. So,
So as you all walk off, the finger still pointing, it sort of turns, flies back to in front of you guys, and then points back in that direction and indicates. And you guys keep walking.
yes,
And it does
it
this
will
again.
insistently beckon. It's the
continues-
quest marker.
It continues.
Recalculating.
Basically, yeah.
spectral GPS.
It only takes it does take a couple of hours to get from the south gate to the edge of the abyss because Core is very large. You're basically walking along the wall outside the city to get to it. After a couple of hours of movement, with this spectral hand constantly floating. Actually, how long does the hand last?
8 hours.
8 hours.
Yeah, so it's about 3 hours after you cast it, with this hand constantly like floating back to get your attention and pointing. Floating back to get your attention and pointing. You guys find yourself at the edge of the world. Standing before you is this vast emptiness that is the abyss, this roiling mass of black and purplish energy and mist, just constantly churning as if it was a river, as if it was an ocean but made of mist, just below the edge of this thing, and occasionally little tendrils of it will sort of scoop up and spit out a rock or something and just fall back down. There's constant activity here at the edge, and it's just
I'll
fairly
pick
chaotic.
up one of like a little rock or something that falls out and just toss it in my hand.
Right.
Just much more comfortable now that I'm far away from
I don't
cities. And
know how much common sense registers in the rest of you, but let's not get too close to the edge, shall we?
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering why we didn't just follow the river when we're trying to get to the fork.
Well, they said it was along the edge of the abyss in the forest, near the fork,
okay.
not specifically the fork itself. So
Okay.
in
Yeah.
that area.
But once the hand starts pointing forward and starts pointing that way, we know we're getting.
I will chuck the rock with my actual no bonus to that. And hit
Bounces off my
nothing.
armor.
Like, were you chucking it at somebody or just chucking it in general?
It was generally directed in the direction of our ranger and paladin, but
Or
I'm a cleric.
fighter and cleric.
right. It doesn't hit.
So it's like
Five misses you.
Nick's just
Five
sort of
misses the sight of a barn.
Nick just sort of tosses a rock over his shoulder and it bounces off the cart.
You ask the Abyss cultist to help you find the other cult of Abyss cultists because I disagree with their cult because mine is better.
Right.
Or going my way.
Just
Makes sense.
try
to me.
not to stumble off into the abyss, or we'll lose you.
I have lived at the edge of the abyss for 10 years or so. I'm fine.
See, that doesn't reassure me any because it just tells me that you're not always stable.
Hey,
Seems like I
Yes.
resemble that remark.
no, I am. I do not live near the edge of the abyss. I do not resemble that remark.
No, the unstable
Um,
part.
I am not. I'm
I want a
certainly not
Constitution
unstable. Everything
saving throw
around
from the
me is
cleric.
unstable.
So,
Oh dear.
you all head south.
I just said I want a Constitution save from the cleric.
Someone
Oh.
cast something on the
Cleric.
cleric.
Oh, it's poison spray.
Cleric, make Constitution saving throw.
Not quite.
19.
Fuck you.
It succeeds whatever you were trying to do. What were you trying to do? Because it still goes off.
So yeah, small little leeches and
Oh, you
Other
tried to cast
creatures.
infestation at me.
mites leech onto you, but unfortunately, you don't run in a random direction 5 feet.
There's a burning of divine forge
5
fire
feet
that just
from
kind of
the abyss.
incinerates the insects off of my armor. Just none of that.
More of that.
Trust me, we'll get him.
So, do you head south or do you try to throw each other into the abyss and roll new characters?
Yeah.
I didn't throw him into the abyss. He is not.
No.
It does 5 feet of movement. You're not 5 feet from the
That's
edge.
my question right now. Not
Yes.
referencing what you just did. It's like, do you guys head south or do you try to throw each other into the abyss?
Corbin's gonna
I'm
keep
heading
heading south.
All right.
Selena takes a long.
I wasn't aware that we'd ever stopped heading south. My cart's kind of
Yeah.
being pulled by a donkey.
The donkey's like 5 feet ahead of you guys right now.
Selena spends about a minute just staring at the abyss and then moves to follow.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
All right.
And
fun.
the sorcerer
I'm
jumps
keeping
into
a
the
decent
abyss.
eye on everyone because
With my -1.
What?
11.
You get the distinct impression that the abyss is staring back. That's all.
Yes, we are
There's
in
a
a Nietzsche
moment
world.
where, and then you just hear her say, "Fuck you," and turns around and follows you.
So you see my point
just
then?
for future reference, the abyss does tend to speak deep speech.
I mean, that's, yeah.
Good to know.
I don't think it understands common.
I wasn't really talking to it.
Yeah, I kind of got the distinct impression that it wasn't for it; it was more for her.
Everyone make me a perception check.
Aldrin, Iron Hand, perception of 22.
Natural 20.
25.
Jesus.
13.
You all hear this sort of echoey, dislocated, disjointed sound of "fuck you" coming from the abyss.
Selena just laughs.
That is so. How did you do that?
I'm just
That is great.
good.
Oh man, that's great. Yeah, I like you.
You know, as someone who actually came from the Abyss, I feel like this is disproportionate amounts of favor for the thing that can probably destroy you.
I mean, I could say that about you. You're a cleric of something, aren't you?
I am a cleric in service of the fires of the Forge. I forge the things that kill.
Are you saying you don't think whatever god you serve could kill you?
I mean, it could. I said disproportionate.
Is that relevant?
I said disproportionate. Thing that will kill you, for one. My god doesn't randomly spout monsters onto the plains.
Neither does mine.
Good.
That you know of.
I don't have.
You have the
Well-
Abyss.
Rest assured that the Abyss each also keeps you much safer from me, at least.
For the record, in case anybody's questioning, I do not worship the Abyss. I just have unfinished business.
Makes sense.
Unfinished business with the Abyss.
I mean, kind of. That is as near as she is explaining it at the moment.
I just have this picture of like an old man just like swinging a stick and cussing out the Abyss every day.
Old man yells at Cloud of Abyss.
Nix if he had never been found.
Keep moving, apparently.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
constantly bantering back and
Well,
forth.
yeah. While they're all bantering back and forth, I'm keeping an eye ahead and
Like-
I'm just like looking around,
Give me a
There's-
perception
making sure
check,
we
Corbin.
don't lose track.
Our
What's up?
our team is currently divided into 3 groups. There's 2 people that are just being silent. There's 2 people that are being reasonable and not wanting to go into the Abyss. And then there's 2 people that are unnaturally fixated on the Abyss.
Wait a minute. Selena has expressed no desire to go into the Abyss.
I didn't say you wanted to go in. I said you were fixated on it.
What roll?
Perception for Corbin. While everybody else,
18.
You distinguished yourself as somebody who doesn't want to as separate from...
while everybody else is bickering both in game and out.
Hey!
Corbin, looking ahead, you see the tree line. You see the tree line approaching. You guys have been walking for a couple of hours and having this sort of this is sort of a condensed snippet of the discussion you guys have been having over the past couple of hours. You walking ahead, being the stoic, stout adventurer type that you are, with these clearly never been on an adventure before people behind you,
Yeah.
like bickering about random, nonsensical, non-important things, like religion. And you see the tree line coming up. You actually see what looks like a campsite, with a tent. And
Is this a regular stop off? Like
No,
for
this is
people that go
along
up
the
to
edge of the Abyss.
Oh, this is okay. I'll stop everybody and look at Nyx and say, "Was that your campsite, or are you farther south?"
Yeah, that's your campsite.
Yes, that's my house. Come on,
All right.
Sweet!
head on by.
And you guys go past it. After a few more hours of walking alongside the Abyss, you do find yourself closer to the forested areas now. And you're sort of getting a sense that if the sightings that you were indicated, and now the hand has gone from pointing like south and east to pointing more east than south. You're getting the sense that you're roughly at the spot where you would need to turn to make a beeline towards the fork in the river.
How long does the guiding hand still have on it?
It's almost at the end of its casting. Like it's almost at the end of its time. You've been.
How
walking
much
for
longer
almost
should
8
we
hours.
go before we probably need to rest?
Yeah. What time is it?
It was midday roughly. Previously, you guys spent about an hour getting to the Rangers headquarters in various periods of time. About an hour inside the Rangers headquarters. So 1, 2. It's probably about 10. It's probably about 10 p.m. It is dark out now.
Yeah. We should have stopped.
By the time you guys
Little
get
bucket.
to this point.
All right. Yeah.
Well, there's sort of an
Well, let's camp for the night here.
and
Still,
nighttime along the edge of the abyss is strange because while it's distinctly dark, there's still an ambient light that comes from nowhere, maybe the abyss, but it's kind of the light that you have in video games that lets you see at night. It's basically like that along the abyss the entire time, even when the sun goes down and there shouldn't be any more light. Right?
Turn the gamma up.
Even when there's no moon, that's still just ambiently lit along the edge. So part of the reason why you didn't stop is because you didn't there was not enough loss of vision to sort of cue, hey, we should stop. And
An
so sort of
eerie
like
glow.
as you guys sort of stop and realize how late it is, that's when you have this discussion.
An eerie glow settles across the black morass.
let's camp for the night. We're a ways out from where the cultists should be still.
Set up watches.
Right. So who's going on first watch?
I'll take
I'll
second
take
watch. I'll take second watch because I've got actually decent dark vision. So at the darkest point of night is when I should be watching.
Okay. Nix takes first watch. Boldrin takes second
I'll take
watch.
third.
Corbin takes third watch.
I won't take a watch then.
Selena and Hope and 5 do not take watches.
I sleep.
When I'm sleeping, I'm using the bed that's inside my shop on wheels.
All right. So you all sleep. Nix.
As my
As-
watch starts, I do my rituals, pull out my candle, arrange the little stones, sort of concentrate on the abyss, all of that.
And normally when you do this, you don't get a whole lot of response. Occasionally you'll get some whispers, some bits of deep speech. Tonight, as you settle into this ritual, a voice echoes in the back of your mind. And it's not in deep speech. It is in your native tongue. And it just sort of murmurs.
So you mean common?
If that's what you consider your native tongue. It murmurs, so a peace has come. No. 2 pieces. Fascinating. Soon they will become part of the whole. And it goes away.
It's always a little more antsy if I've been away, I suppose. Or I have been, so just concentrate on not letting anything out.
Make a
Equalizing.
Make an arc. Make a wisdom save.
Thank you for making it something I'm proficient in. 18.
So you feel after that voice cuts out, you feel a pulse. Like something inside you is knocking on your ribcage. And it sort of pulls you towards the forest. Not towards the abyss.
Gonna cast Shillelagh on my stick. Go.
And then it stops.
Just to the edge of the campsite.
And as you get to the edge, it stops. You manage to wrestle that feeling back.
Plant the staff in the ground. Fuck.
Make me a perception check.
And yeah, actually do my job on watch. Not really.
You notice
11.
you notice 5 has stood up and is staring in that same direction. Sort of leaning against the side of the cart.
Did they try and lock you away too? No, you're. Well, I don't know if I'm from the abyss or not.
5
I guess so.
starts to move. Let me do a thing here real quick. 5 just starts to run in that direction.
Okay.
Because 5 rolled a 1 on their wisdom save. Natural 1.
Give me like half a second to figure out what bee shape has a really fast movement speed.
Bolt, who all was in the cart?
Me.
I
Bolt,
mean,
make a
if you're in the cart, then
make a perception check, Boldrin. See if you notice.
13.
Yeah, didn't take any care. So yeah, you sort of jostled awake as something like pushes against the cart, and you sort of look up and you see 5 bolting. And we have Amara coming in.
Hello.
Let me adjust everyone's cameras really quick.
Sorry.
While you guys react.
Split second reaction time.
Well,
I am turning into a panther
okay.
and chasing after.
5 hasn't
50
passed
feet.
you yet. So 5 hasn't passed you yet. 5 is heading towards you and will be passing you, but you still have time to react before that.
If she hasn't passed me yet, I still have my stick. If it's been less than a minute, I still have Shillelagh. I'm gonna hold it out in front of her, not threateningly, but like blocking.
Yeah. No. She like sort of hits your arm and tries to push past.
So
So
not
Boldrin.
like when I see the two of them colliding and it looks like Nyx is trying to stop 5 from getting out into the forest. Have I got my spells back at this point?
not quite. Yeah, you just
First
laid down
watch.
the rest.
Yeah, we just started resting. I will try and assist Nyx with wrestling 5 down.
All right. So you hop out of the cart and trot over. It's not too far away. So, how are you trying to assist?
Just
gonna grab.
trying to grapple. Yeah, just trying to grapple 5.
Make an athletics check.
Yay, something I'm not good at. 18 though.
Hey.
If there's something out there, I'm gonna cast Moonbeam at it.
14 means that 5 does not get loose. No, there's nothing there.
Okay.
There's nothing visible in the forest that you can tell. It's just there's this something. Something was pulling you, like metaphysically, in that direction, and whatever it is, you figure is probably pulling 5 as well. And
Hold down, as I've just kind of like got her.
I'm gonna try and
arms locked.
essentially take sort of the runes and stones that I used for my own personal ritual to use the abyss to ward against what is inside me, and use the abyss to ward the campsite more generally, like at least symbolically. I can't do that from a magical perspective.
Okay, make me a wisdom. Make me a spell casting just a spell casting roll.
Selena murmurs
Okay.
in her sleep and rolls
Wait,
over.
so like a spell attack or like a
like
just
it would be like a spell attack. It'd be your wisdom with proficiency.
okay. So I'm gonna use my quarterstaff just because that's easy.
Okay.
10.
Okay. You have warded to the best of your ability. Boldrin, you've got a squirming and wrestling 5 in your arms.
My armor is not flammable, so I'm going to do my best to like pin 5 down and try and keep them from struggling too
Make
much.
Another athletics check.
This is where I roll a natural 1. Yep, I called it. Called my shot.
Yeah, you try to pin them down, and you try to pin 5 down, and 5 just kicks out of your grasp. At this point, you have noticed, several people just dropped from the call.
Whoa.
Uh-oh.
Skype just booted half the cast. That's wonderful.
We just
Oh, it
lost,
wasn't
like,
just
3
me.
people.
Great.
No.
Yeah, okay. back.
Skype booted Aaron, Cody, and Jeremy.
Live, everybody!
Da 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 da. They're back. Yay.
What up, fuckers?
Yeah, and after I've done warding, I'm gonna try and wake people up.
So you
Yeah, I was gonna-
you have noticed that Nyx has done some sort of magical ward, and at this point, 5 sort of calms down and looks confused. Doesn't look like 5's
Are
about to
you-
bolt.
Gonna
All right.
sit down next to wherever 5 is.
5 just sort of looks at you, says 5, shakes her head.
This is why we trust. This is what I trust the Abyss for. Because whatever that is, even if the people who don't like it are bad, the thing itself isn't good either.
And
You should get some sleep, 5.
5 just sort of lays down and passes out.
That works.
There's a long string of under's breath druidic.
Right, I'm going to get some more sleep and do a few more prayers. Wake me up when it's time for me to take watch.
I have
I
no
will.
idea what's going on.
So-
Everyone shut up.
For Mara's benefit.
Yes!
For
I
Mara's
have no
benefit.
idea.
After speaking with the Rangers of Kor, you all were approached with an offer from Tithian, the head of the Adventurers Guild. Basically, the Rangers were supposed to genuinely find a group of cultists that were that seemed to be performing dark rituals that may threaten River's End. But they sort of stopped when they found Nyx, thinking that they had found lucky day, and just sort of fucked up. So, because they don't have any experienced rangers currently available to do this, and because Nyx was somebody that was living on the edge of the abyss, Tithian and Lorien sort of put together a proposal where asking if the group of you who proved yourselves to be fairly capable during the fight with the abyss creatures earlier would go down south and investigate this cultist business for them. In return, your reward would be membership into the Lionheart's Adventurers Guild if you want it, which is in and of itself free room, board, and regular work, as well as a sum of gold as a reward. And everyone agreed, and it didn't. Being paid to kill things didn't seem like something Hope would say no to. So,
No.
Especially not when room and board are attached with it. So, you all agreed and have set off south to find these cultists. And it is now currently night. You are asleep.
Okay.
And we had some shenanigans going on.
Okay. Unknown shenanigans. I'm just sleeping through them. Hope is snoring.
Yep. There's loud snoring coming from the ace.
Yep. She snores.
And quiet sleeping coming from Selena.
Also, a bit of thing that happened before you were told what happened. The adjudicator left the building, staring off at an angle, and as the adjudicator was leaving, you were pointedly looking away
Okay.
because
Yep.
she gives you the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
All right.
Valid.
So, anything else happening on the first watch, Nyx, with you?
Nope.
All right.
Actually, there's probably lots of really creepy looking scrawling of abyssal, deep speech, and druidic on the ground where Nyx is sitting as he's on watch.
So yeah, Boldrin, you wake up for your watch, and there is an amount more magical scrawling on the ground than there was when you went to sleep again.
I'll vaguely point out what aspects of it are vaguely necessary, if this even, for the symbolic ritual, and then go to sleep.
I'll leave your ritual scroll where it lies. I'll just sit over here and find my own spot to keep watch.
All right, make me a perception check.
I have no need of light because I have dark vision. 15.
Every once in a while, the abyss sort of burbles, and you notice that every few minutes or so, not every few minutes, once every little while, Nyx and Five shift fitfully in their sleep. Everyone else is fine. It's just those two.
While I'm taking my watch, can I work a little bit more on reshaping the barrel that was supposed to be in Siegebreaker?
Sure. Give me a smith. Give me a dexterity-based blacksmith tools check, or tinker's tools, whichever.
That is exactly the same as my strength-based one, so I'll just roll that. 15.
Right. Yeah. You pull out sort of a metal basically it's sort of like a riveting drill. It's not a riveting drill. It is a what's the term? A rifling drill. Basically, it sort of drills out the metal that you need it to drill out, as well as the rifling pattern for a barrel, and you just sort of put that in and start turning it to try to fill out the barrel here. You don't get very far on it, but you do get a little bit. It's a little bit more of a insert than it was previously. It's going to take a lot of work to finish this out, but
yeah.
All right. Second watch passes fairly uneventfully. Third watch comes around, and it's Corbin's turn.
It is indeed.
So Bolvin goes back to sleep. Corbin, are you doing anything in particular on your watch?
I'll actually, since I don't have dark vision, and we have a campfire, I'm going to put a couple torches just stuck into the ground on the edge of the forest line.
Okay.
Towards the forest, so 2 torches.
Just Minecraft torch it. Just one there, one there, just standing up on the ground.
Yeah, you set out a couple torches, and
I'll just.
Or you could Sims torch it and put a bunch of torches around, and then remove any way to exit them. Sorry.
Make me a perception check.
Okay. And I have my longbow out before. Like, all my stuff is sitting out next to me. So perception. Another natural 20.
Nothing seems to be around currently. Most of it is just darkness and the abyss constantly roiling behind you. You've never been this close to it for this long. So one of the things that you do notice is that there is sort of a constant sound coming from it. But it's not the same sound. It's constant sound, but not the same sound. Just occasionally you'll hear what sounds like rocks falling, and you'll turn and look, but nothing's there. And you'll hear the sound of water flowing, water crashing against a shoreline. You'll hear a bird chirp. You'll hear leaves rustling. You'll hear footsteps, cartwheels rolling, wood creaking, occasionally metal on metal sounds. Just vague and sort of disassociated, coming from the nothingness beyond the edge of the world. It's kind of creepy.
Yeah. There's a reason I don't fucking stay this close to it.
You also suddenly get a feeling that you know that the wall guards that monitor the wall facing the abyss in core are often switched out more regularly than any other guards. You think you know why now?
Yeah. Yeah. Too many nights of this shit throw you off.
But aside from that, your night passes uneventfully.
All right.
And the morning comes, and all of you wake.
I slept well.
That was a good night. Good. Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm. Good.
It's nice to be back.
I imagine it is.
Well,
Nyx, you hear just vaguely at the back of your head, is it?
So, given that I've spent years meditating on this,
Mhm.
does this voice feel like it's inside, related to the inside or to the abyss outside?
Make me a wisdom save.
18.
You can't tell.
All right, then
It's not.
for now,
It's not the same voice. It is definitively not the same voice you have ever heard.
okay.
But that voice changes.
Yeah.
But this is a consistent voice from last night.
Okay.
So
Time to go see some cultists about their cult being bad at being a damn cult.
Well, I mean, lots of
sure,
cults
that
are kind
sentence-
of terrible at it.
That sentence made sense.
It absolutely made sense.
How are we gonna find these people? Just gonna go around and ask for the creepy cult people? Because I feel like that would maybe not go so well.
Not
I
too many
mean-
people
Well, we
live out
know
in the
roughly
woods, so
where
that'll
they
be-
are, and
Correct me if I'm wrong, Nix, but this is not a particularly heavy populated area.
yeah, I mean, there's the town further down, and obviously these people have been spotted by civilians.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got River's End down, sort of at the end where the abyss curves back.
it's River's End.
But
where the
no,
river
this
ends.
area. Yes, but the river also starts in the abyss.
Yeah, it's
To
weird.
be helpful.
Physics.
No, it's not terribly populated. I'm assuming if we find a cult full of cultists, a fort full of cultists, it'll be pretty obvious.
Right.
I thought
Or
for a second I thought you-
otherwise, I can go up to a group of people, say, "Have you heard of our Lord and Savior, the Abyss?" And if they don't run away screaming, we know we found our cultists.
Or you run you out of town for being one of the cultists. I mean, that just seems risky.
I'm not
Are
going
they?
back.
Well, I mean,
into
we're not
any
going
fucking
into the
town.
towns.
Yes, no, we're searching the areas around to see if
Okay.
they're.
To be perfectly honest, I don't know that too many people who aren't part of a cult that isn't welcome in town would be staying outside of the town.
Yeah, we don't know what's happened since then. Let's.
That
So
is-
we're gonna go stealth around. That'll be good.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Lots of wildlife, things that will little
I
mosquitoes. It'll be great.
We're going to be as stealthy as we can with a cart with pack animals leading
We'll
the
have
way.
some-
Which is why
we'll
I
have-
suggested the "Have you heard of our Lord and Savior, the Abyss?" approach.
Right.
We should have.
I mean,
some
I can
forward
I can
scouts.
definitely help with that.
We
Which,
should have.
speaking
forward
of,
scouts.
how obvious with for Corbin and Borden,
Boldrin.
Boldrin.
thanks. How obvious are their allegiances in their general wardrobe?
I'm just wearing regular leathers. The badge that he has from the guild is in his pack.
My shield has a hammer and anvil emblazoned on it.
Yeah, I thought your
So-
feathers might be your shield.
Okay.
What about Selena?
Yeah. So as long as we keep that one either in the back or looking like a hostage, we're probably good.
I'd be okay with him looking like a hostage.
I'm afraid if you want me to look like a hostage, you'd have to look a little bit more intimidating. No one's going to believe that you've taken me hostage.
Hold on
Children,
just a second.
children.
A
let's
small
not do this
pile
now.
of little critters and insects forms in Nyx's hand, but dissipates.
We have other shit to do I realize.
I mean,
this is you
apparently
guys-
I can strike multiple people with lightning at once. I'm just saying, looks aren't all that they
I
appear.
mean, you've said every time we've talked to you about that that's not you. So-
Correct.
Also,
It's
the
not.
rangers of your city found me plenty intimidating. Apparently, I myself was a terrifying cult.
Well, those were the Rangers. Probably the new ones.
Eh,
Probably the
tomato,
first time
tomato.
outside the wall. Anyways,
They're still
forward
gonna have party
scouts.
and party
Any
violence at some
volunteers?
point. Sorry, what?
Fine.
Oh,
Need
What do you
forward
mean, what do you mean at
scouts.
some point? You already have.
not purposeful. There's not purposeful
Nick,
damage
Nick
to
has
another
actively
person.
attempted to use a damaging cantrip. Damaging cantrip.
Nyx actively used infestation on Boldrin.
It didn't work.
Okay, nobody
And also, I was
important.
going for
I'm
the
kidding.
secondary.
I'm kidding.
Anyways,
I'm totally joking.
so Corbin has been trying to make a suggestion.
I can sneak.
I'm all right in the woods too. It's just we're heading east, correct?
I don't know where we're
Heading
going, but I
along
can
the
sneak.
abyss until we reach the river, and then inland along the river until we find the cultists. I assume they'll seem pretty obvious. If they don't, I was thinking
Do
entrapment.
they do a lot of chanting? Do they, like stand in circles a bunch? I'm not really sure.
Do they wander
I
the
mean-
woods in robes?
Can I get a
My
religion
experiences
check
with
on
cultists
that?
is that they're
Sure.
kind of loud, but
You can get a religion check.
Natural 20.
Well,
This is my abyss, not theirs.
Most cultists. I mean, it depends. There's not really any sort of uniformity between in abyss cults. It's more it's more the thought that counts than anything else.
Which is why I don't like any other factions.
So like purples and blacks are pretty common colors.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because those are kind of the colors of the abyss too.
Yep.
do they wear name tags?
And they don't have like "Hi, my name is Abyss Cultist"
Okay.
on their robes or anything. That's pretty much all you know. Like you don't know anything specific about these guys. You've never encountered them or dealt with them, so you don't.
I mean, just cults are cults.
So we find the chanting. Okay, good.
Okay, so if we're gonna just continue south along the
And
abyss,
I'm guiding the group at this point.
then we'll have myself and Hope ahead and to the side, maybe next a little into the tree line to make sure nobody. So you'll get a
Sneaks up.
warning. Yeah.
Mhm.
That way we can maybe ditch the cart if we have to, or leave it as bait.
I mean,
Sorry, Boldrin.
it makes a fair amount of sense to have a merchant hostage if we're also abyss worshippers. But
Yeah, if they get the drop on us, then we can pull that angle. But anybody who's caught, I mean, if they haven't found us, then
Not to question your field of expertise, but how do intercult relations work? If we're not part of
I
their
hit them
cult, I
with
don't.
my stick until they stop moving.
So
Fortunately, if we're both cultists, they probably won't have any problem calling me a heretic who's worshipping the abyss the wrong way when they're trying to hit me with their sticks until I stop moving.
So I don't think in that particular case that attempting to say we're different cultists with a hostage is really going to stop them from trying to kill you.
Do we know how
Nope.
many there are?
Not at all. I
Nope.
just wanted you to be a
Okay.
hostage.
just that there's
This
a
would be
group.
great. All right. There's a group of some sort. This is great.
Yeah, Selena. better?
I'm on board. But I know, in all seriousness, hostage or not, it would at least behoove us to make some sort of opening, pleasantries. I'm assuming, and this may turn out to be wrong, I'm putting at 60-40 odds, that they're not just going to see us and go, kill, stab, stab, stab. So some conversation, some opening parlay, while those more head clunky of us, as in clunking people on the head, get into position is probably the best way to go.
All right.
Mhm.
Works for me.
If they open with attacking, then when we find them,
then
them,
yes.
then. But if they open up a line of communication, then by all means, talk to the cultists.
I'm
Do
saying
I know
if we encounter,
how
if we
much
come
further
up,
this journey would be?
You know that the river begins in probably another hour or two of walking.
Do I see robed figures in the forest?
Make perception checks.
While I'm assuming this is about the time me and Hope will walk off.
I want to
and,
note my
start scouting.
my
Well,
passive perception
mhm.
while
I
we're
mean,
having this conversation is 17.
Mine's 14, so you know.
Yep.
But
26.
Sheesh.
so
Baldrin sees nothing.
I didn't.
Those of you that are trying to be stealthy, go ahead and make stealth checks for me.
Alright.
the conversation was still
22.
ongoing, I believe.
Well, no, Corbin and Hope already went ahead. At least that's what I was told. So that's what I heard.
Fighter beat the road.
21.
I was about to respond to something Corbin had
Okay.
just said.
Go
So.
ahead. Continue then.
Yeah.
They walked away and then continued to talk to us.
Yeah.
Well, so yes, if they attack first, absolutely. But I think we should proactively make the attempt to talk and have as you guys prepare
Yeah.
for the stealth.
Corbin would probably walk off right in the middle of that train of thought. Like, we should open up the. Yeah, okay, you got it if it happens. He just walks off.
Don't worry, we won't stab first before you have a chance to talk to these cult people.
You're completely missing the point.
While that interaction is going on, Nick, something does catch your eye.
Oh, and my Forge Father's Blessing today is on Siegebreaker rather than my armor.
Okay. You notice not on the tree line, but further in, there are a couple of trees that look like they have withered.
Okay. I'll sort of tap Selena and head almost wander in that direction.
Right. I follow.
Make me another wisdom save, Nyx.
Okay.
We're gonna have 5 make a wisdom save 2. Womp. Another
Oh, no.
1 for 5. Wow. It's almost like the dice want it.
As it kind of vaguely occurs to Nyx in the back of his head, oh yeah, I probably should have cast Pass Without a Trace on the people who are wandering off. Fuck, 9.
So,
9 natural 1.
roughly at the same time, 5 and Nyx, both of you feel this boom, this knocking feeling sort of internally,
Now!
pulling you
Damn it.
towards the forests. And in the back of your head, you hear, "There you are, little one.
Doing everything I
Come
can to head towards
to
the abyss.
me. And you sort of think about heading towards the abyss, but your feet are walking towards the forest. And, like, you feel this, whatever this is inside you, pushing you in that direction. As your feet just keep walking and faster and faster and faster and faster. And to the rest of everybody else, Nyx and Five are now running towards the tree line.
Do the people that walk away notice?
It's pretty hard to not notice, yes.
How much consciousness do I have right now?
You're conscious and you are still aware. It feels like you're only partially in control of yourself, though.
Okay, so the question is, does my mind understand what's happening, or does my brain want to go where I'm being forced to go?
You want to go.
Okay.
You want to go, but you know you're being made to want.
In that case, I'm going to try and cast Infestation on myself.
Okay. Make a Constitution saving throw.
10 is a failure.
All right. So roll damage.
I have that in my spell sheet.
1d6 piercing damage. All right. You take
1d6 damage, and I run 5 feet
So roll a d8 for a direction.
in
Southwest.
southwest.
So you sort of, while you're moving, you cast a spell, and just fleas and insects sort of crawl down and start biting into your flesh, and you jerk reflexively off to the right, because southwest would be to your right, where you're heading, or actually would be backwards because you're heading forwards. You're heading to the east. And you sort of stop for a minute. You see Five run past you. And then you start walking in that direction again. Everybody else, what are your reactions to this? Things that are happening right now?
Well, as soon as running started,
Yeah.
I started moving with.
Okay, so Selena is also running with.
Because I'm very confused.
Yeah. As soon as they start running, I'm trying to look where they're. I'm assuming they're staring at
So
where they're running.
I
Yeah,
saw
they're
this. I saw this happen yesterday, and it looks like Nyx is trying to stop themselves from going places, and it's not quite working.
Yep.
So I'm going to cast Command at 2nd level, targeting both of them, Five and Nyx,
Okay.
and just shout, "Stop!"
Make me a spellcasting roll.
There's Command there. Yeah. I'll just do my Guiding Bolt check. 16.
Okay, let me make an opposed spellcasting roll here. What?
No, it's not that. It's... Damn it, I could have taken a spell that could do something about this.
You tied. Interesting.
Technically, ties go to the defender,
Yep.
which would be me!
Which would be the other person. I'll say... Make me another wisdom save, Nyx. And we'll have Five make another wisdom save.
10 probably fails your spell DC.
Yeah, my spell DC is.
Ooh.
That's not a 1.
Alright. So Nyx stops. Five does not.
Blast it.
I'm running to where they look like they're headed. Is there anybody over there?
So the first thing you notice is that there are rotted trees that they're running past.
Okay.
That's the first thing you notice. Selena, are you reacting? Are you still running after Five? Are you stopping? What are you doing?
As soon as a Nick stop, what the fuck?
So presumably with command used, I have my action.
Yes.
Stop her.
All right.
Um,
How far ahead is?
Well, she is running full bore, so she
Uh-huh.
has run 60 feet. You started running as soon as they started running. Were you going to be running as well?
Yes.
Full out?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then she's probably only 30 feet ahead of you right now.
All right. So I'm casting as my bonus action, essentially, Misty Step,
Okay.
because who needs spells? Yeah, and putting myself. She cringes. I'm putting myself directly in the path.
All right. Make an athletics check.
Just and then
I've been rolling low for 5. Maybe 5 will roll low. So
You roll the same number on the dice.
it's true.
Nope,
You did.
I'm not grappling.
No. This was just to see if you could resist getting bowled over. So
I'm fine with being bowled over because,
Yeah.
assumedly, she will too.
yeah. So you throw yourself out and make yourself a barrier, and 5 just shoulders into you. You both tumble and go down.
Okay.
And 5, he just immediately scrambles back and starts trying to run again. I'm trying to hold on.
Because technically, I've only spent my bonus action. We're not in initiative,
Yep.
so
Go ahead and make me another athletics check.
yeah. And I will give myself advantage on this because
You
I'm gonna
no,
roll.
You finished a long rest, so yeah, you can.
Yeah, I finished a long rest.
Yep.
We know I'm gonna roll the same number no matter what, or the first number will be the higher of the two. But
Well,
still,
let's find out.
it's the thought that counts. 11. And yes, the first
Beautiful.
number was the higher one.
It's beautiful.
13.
Again, you roll the same number on the dice. It's just that 5 actually has a
Alright.
modifier.
Strangely enough, yes, 5
This
has a
is-
modifier to strength. So you guys, the rest of you are coming up on this as 5 and Selena are wrestling on the ground, and 5 looks like
I'm
5
staying where I am.
yeah, Nyx is still held in
Oh.
place, but the rest of you that were moving, Corbin and Hope.
All right.
Uh,
Okay. This is what is going on?
I'm presuming that I've done the equivalent of my turn for this little bit. So
Yeah. So right now we're on Corbin and Hope as Selena and 5 are wrestling on the ground. Looks like 5's about to pull away.
We have completely ruined the stealth. So I'm running up, dash for my bonus action.
Uh-huh.
I think that'll get me up.
Yeah, you get up
And I'm gonna try and pin 5.
All right, maybe an
Grapple.
athletics roll.
All right.
Are you going to rage?
No, not yet.
All right, so
Yeah.
you walk up to the flailing pile of limbs that is 5 and Selena. Reach down, pick 5 up, and then just move off of Selena and push down into the ground, and just hold
Very
her there.
disappointed in you. And I just hold her. So, what's with the trees?
yeah, Corbin runs
So,
up.
so
Less worrying about trees, more worrying about charging bull of drow.
I don't know I don't know what's going on with her. So I'm just trying to figure out the situation here.
so make me a
Why is she running?
Fuck if I know, she's just running.
5? Why are you
I'm
running?
looking in the direction that they were
5.
running.
5.
5 responds with the word 5.
Okay. Well, that's not helpful at all.
So make me perception checks.
Yeah.
So, question: command lasts an action.
Yeah, it lasts for your next turn.
Yeah.
I got a 22.
11.
So you both notice that the area you are in, there's sort of like a petering off of healthy trees, and you're sort of going into this grove of sort of rotting and decaying trees. The ground itself is also sort of rotted and decayed. Just as if something came along and started sucking the life out of these plants in this area. Corbin, you hear chanting of some kind. What languages do you speak?
Common, Dwarvish, and Primordial.
You don't recognize the language, but there is chanting of some kind coming from further into the forest beyond this sort of initial grove. And roughly this point, the command wears off. Nyx, you start moving again.
Okay.
Okay, so he's going now again, and my boots are ruined because the ground's all mushy. This definitely feels like a cult thing, possibly. I mean, I don't have a lot of. Yeah, okay, well
Nick,
that's just great. Chanting, right? It's chanting.
Yeah, it's always chanting.
It's always chanting.
Nyx, make me another wisdom save. All right, you may
11. So, I have a +7 modifier.
You wrestle this pull back down and are in control of yourself again.
We need to get to the abyss. I do everything I can to head in that direction.
You start walking.
Okay. And if I have my action, I'm going to use it to cast Flame Blade. Or bonus action. Bonus action to cast Flame Blade, action to dash towards the abyss.
Flame Blade
Flame Blade or green Flame Blade?
Flame Blade.
I've got a fire scimitar.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Flame Blade is a druid spell. So yeah, Nyx just sort of makes a drawing motion in thin air, and as he does, this fire just sort of erupts and forms into a blade that they sort of draw out of the air.
All right, so we're completely abandoning that whole stealth thing. This is great.
Nyx is heading.
Why are we going to the abyss?
Nyx is heading back to the abyss.
Why are we going to the abyss? The cultists are right there. That's where we're supposed to, we're supposed to go find them.
Literally within earshot.
So, yeah.
5 is trying to wrestle free and failing and trying to head towards the where Corbin indicates the chanting is.
I will help Hope in dragging 5 back towards the abyss in the cart that they just took off towards. Took off from. So let's regroup and we'll let the others know that I heard them.
All right.
Well, I think the only person that doesn't know that we heard is Boldrin, because Selena, are you still on the ground or have you gotten up?
No, I've gotten up I've gotten up eventually. Yes.
Okay.
And yeah, you notice as well now that you're free of the fighting 5. You also notice that the trees in this area are dead or dying.
The fighting 5.
The fighting 5.
So why are they dead?
Probably has to do with cultist chanting.
Yeah. Maybe more.
Let's see if Nyx knows anything about this and why perhaps there was a freak out.
Well, Nick seems a little confused.
Brushing
so
off.
Yeah, you've got like sort of muck on your clothes now. You're brushing off. All right, you group of you regroup.
So, is what the fuck? Anyone?
Chanting cultists. It's always great. And what the chanting's working on you too? Is that what's going on with the whole running? Straight toward.
I saw the people that I was supposed to. I saw the person that I was going to be going up and having and encountering this group with start booking along with one word drow over here.
Okay, so you're just a follower. Got it. Okay, so you're just a follower. Why were the rest of you running?
Should be noted that Boldrin was specifically not running.
You two. And I'm pointing at Nixon 9.
Or 5.
Or Nixon 5, sorry.
Nix is
5 says 5.
still, if possible, still booking it towards the abyss.
You're sort of at the edge now.
Okay. Getting as close as I safely can.
It's still pulling you in that direction.
So you want to explain
myself
that?
as much as I can. I have my dagger sword. That's it's nature.
Yeah.
That's magic. Focus on that.
Can I tell it all? Like what?
I'm walking over towards Nix.
If the chanting that we heard is like if we just stop up his ears, is that gonna help at all? 'Cause that feels like a strategy right now.
Make an Arcana roll.
All right. Hey, look at
With
that.
a 20 Arcana, it occurs to you that you don't think Nyx got close enough to hear the chanting. You certainly can't hear the chanting, so you don't know that hearing the chanting has anything to do with anything.
All right, fine. That won't work. What? Sorry. What's gonna happen if we go there then? You two are gonna what? Just like beeline straight for whatever weird ritual they're doing?
5.
Yes. Solid input as always.
Selena has moved over next to Nyx.
Mm-hmm.
Was there anything in particular you were wanting to do?
Okay.
It occurs to me that I'm not quite familiar with civilization.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of assumed that the god would have informed all of you before making you asking me to guide you what I am.
Meaning?
What would that be?
We're over on the other. We're a little ways away from you guys, though, aren't we?
I mean, Nyx is just standing next to the edge of the abyss.
Yeah.
Which I believe is
Corbin
where
would
he
have walked up.
can't.
He wanted to know
So-
why they were freaking out.
I mean,
There's like little bits being drawn with a stick on the ground and a fire sword because mental stability.
yeah, Nyx wasn't like making. Nyx wasn't trying to be separate from everyone else. Nyx was just standing as close to the abyss as possible, which is where you guys made camp. So, like, while
Okay.
certainly away from the center of the camp is not like off
Well,
in a
it's
hidden, shadowy
definitely
area.
away from where we previously were.
Yeah.
Yes.
But not
The
like,
question is if
Because we just
the question
ran
is
in a
who
direction
ended up over there.
and then
Yeah.
came back.
Because I
Apparently.
was booking it away from these people as they were wrestling 5.
everyone.
Yeah,
from the information that I received from you, the players, it seemed like everyone followed you back to the abyss.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also, Boldrin never really left the camp because he had stood where he could see them and cast command and hadn't done much else.
Yeah, Boulder didn't run very far.
So, what were you saying about not telling us about what you are? Because presumably you're some sort of well,
I
thought
want to
you
hear
were
what this
cultists.
is going to be.
Because that's what we heard from the cart about what had happened with the cart when all hell broke loose in that square. So,
Yeah, I don't think the guard knew exactly what you were other than
elaborate.
humanoid.
Human. He pulls back his sort of long silver hair. The hair's short, human.
Okay.
Okay. But you said didn't tell us what you were. So, you want
I
to
am-
elaborate?
I am the kind of monster that people lock away and get scared of.
Okay. Cool.
Really selling yourself
So-
right now?
Uh-huh.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Enough with the cryptic shit.
In all honesty, I'm curious.
I mean, I don't exactly remember, But what I mean is that there's a reason I was living on the fucking edge of the world with no one around.
Which is...
Well, apparently part of it is that whatever is going on there is yanking at me.
Okay. What's the other part? Or parts?
I just, extend the blade.
Yes, it's long and sharp and fiery. Okay.
What makes you think you're
Are
a
you
monster,
talking about
lad?
being? Are you talking about being abyssborn?
Maybe. It's probably more than that. I might be abyssborn, I might not be. I don't remember.
Okay.
I'm curious about is why why 5 is the same way. Honestly. You all sort of implicitly accepted the risks by being here. I just don't like being controlled, so I ran away.
That's fair.
Mhm.
I understand. I don't like it either. Well, whatever it is, it's not strictly about being abyssborn. I can say that with a reasonable level of certainty.
Yes. That's a guess. That's a good guess.
Why are you certain?
Because it's
well,
not
the
affecting
dwarf's
me.
already said
Oh,
that he's
okay.
abyssborn, and
Because-
he
yes.
is as well.
Because more than one of us here are from the abyss.
Yes. Well, near as you know, that's one of those things that's kind of hard. Regardless,
Maybe it just chose you randomly. But anyway, we still have to deal with the fact that you two are getting pulled toward the center of this thing that's probably bad. So how do we deal
Yeah.
with it?
My spell range maxes out at 120 feet, so I am not much help if I'm going to be charging into the middle of everything and possibly throwing myself into a ritual vat or whatever they have planned.
If we just hang on to you two,
Do we
can
need to
you
tie
still
you up?
function? Because that worked pretty well with Nyx. I don't know if she can do anything well.
I mean, I cast spells, so I can function at a range if I'm not restrained.
Okay, so we just hang on to you two.
Do we put you guys on leashes?
No, let's not put them on
I
leashes.
think that
Well, it wouldn't work on 5 anyways. All we have is rope, and she'd light it on fire.
I actually
You're not
put my
wrong
fire
there.
sword at him.
I
This is why I don't like civilization.
No, I'm
Yeah.
with you on this. We're not going to tie up these people just because.
No, I'm just saying hang on to them.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's all I'm saying too. You don't want to run. Would you rather be held from running into the unknown, or know that hey, on the other side of that rope is something that's keeping me from doing something I don't know whether I want to do or not?
I understand. I'm just saying leashes have a certain symbolism that it is understandable why certain people might not be comfortable with.
There's a difference. I will note between a leash and a tether. And I'm a blacksmith. I do have chain to make metal tethers. If you wish to be tethered to the cart, so you can't move too far from it.
That could work for me. 5. Would you be able to do the same, or would you really want to set it on fire?
5.
Can I tell anything from?
I'm gonna make
from
an
any
insight roll.
inflection?
Or
Make it.
actually,
Make an insight
I
roll.
have the empathy.
All right, I'm
I'm
try
going to
this.
assume that every time 5 says 5, that means set it the fuck on
Nope.
fire.
I have a natural 20 on insight.
Hope, you're pretty certain that you get no idea what 5 is saying.
All right, cool.
Nyx, That maybe. Valdrin, you don't think Five understood the question.
Five. How do I phrase this? You know, Cadmus was a father. I should have asked him. But he's not here. I don't even know if he exists right now.
Or if he ever did.
Don't even know if he exists right now.
You're from the Abyss like I am. You know there are people... that
Oh,
you
okay.
know
I
that-
didn't. I had forgotten that you.
There
It's
are
been a very hectic few minutes. All right.
There are people from my past
Yes.
that I'm fairly certain aren't here.
Yes, I'm with you on that. And there's
One of
one
them-
who may be. And all right. So this problem.
As
Fuck.
like,
I don't even know.
I love when I don't have to do
the other
anything.
alternative is that you guys is that whatever's dragging me in, we let it. And we see if it murders all these people.
Okay, if it can
Yeah.
murder a group of people, what the fuck chance do we have?
I mean, we're a group of
Could I-
people with
Just from
talents.
yeah,
Very
just
thorough
from
of
what
like-
little bit I heard, is there any way I could kind of estimate how many people, from how far away it sounded, or
People were chanting.
Give me
I really hope they
just
they
like an estimation, not
I've-
exact numbers or anything like that? But
What
for
was that?
their sake, I hope they haven't neglected to notice we're here.
we're a ways away.
Oh, don't worry, I haven't. You all hear from the tree line.
As I turn
Oh
and look.
boy.
So
Is it the same voice?
it is.
Fire sword.
Standing at the tree line, you see an individual who is fairly tall and lean, covered in black leather that seems to have long flowing straps hanging off the shoulders, like somebody had a shoulder cape that they just cut into belts and just let hang loose. With a pair of daggers on his hip, a long coat attached to it, and what looks like a porcelain white mask covering their face with a red slit down the middle and what looks like molding for a mouth, and just these glowing blue eyes in the eye sockets, wearing a broad-brimmed hat, and just standing with his arms folded, leaning back against the tree.
Can I get any kind of? That's a very particular mask. Can I get any kind of like history or arcana or something? in
Whatever
relation
you'd
to that?
like.
Well, that tells me
I'm-
it doesn't matter.
Whichever one,
I know my
which-
memory
whichever
has been
one
wiped,
is,
but is there
whichever one
any
is the
chance
highest.
I remember this person?
Give me a history or arcana or religion, whichever one of the three is highest. Anyone can roll.
They're all equal,
Okay.
so I'm just rolling a die and adding 2 to it.
I will make the
do
roll,
not
but I'm
have
also
advantage.
pulling out my bow, and anything that moves besides him in the tree line is getting shot.
That's fine.
So what was it? Arcana, religion, or history?
Yep,
I'm
whichever one of those.
concerned about the glowing eyes thing. That's my angle.
Okay. So what are you all trying to find out? Selena's thinking about the mask. Nyx is just thinking about the person in general, or the voice.
If memory,
Alright.
particularly,
Waldron,
with
what
a
are you-
religion
are
of
you-
3, no.
I was trying to see if any of that symbolism is recognizable,
Okay.
but apparently not.
And Corbin.
Yeah, I was kind of doing the same. Like if I recognize any markings on his armor or the mask, just anything that would give me a hint as to what
So,
kind of.
You recognize none of the
faction.
markers. None of you recognize any of the markers. Hope. The glowing
Yeah.
eyes you would think would indicate ASMR,
Yeah.
or something along those lines. You're not sure what kind or for who, but definitely not definitely not a scale bearer's ASMR.
Mhm.
Selena, the mask doesn't look like a mask. like it looks like a mask, but it doesn't look like a mask. And you realize why that statement comes into your mind because the mask smiles, and you realize that's his face.
Who the fuck are you? No, that was a question.
Oh, I know. You may call me Umbra, he says, lifting up, reaching up, grabbing the hat, doffing it, and doing a little bow. And as he pulls it off, you see that the white porcelain, what you all now realize is his face because the mouth moves as he talks. Like you see where it sort of ends where a mask would end, and then from there back is just blackness. And it doesn't even look like it's all that substantial. It just looks similar to the Abyss in ways. As he leans down, doffs it, and then puts the hat back up and adjusts it. I couldn't help but notice that there was a ruckus going on over here, and 2 little pieces of mine were not coming when I called. He says, looking directly at Nixon 5.
What's in me belongs to you.
That's certainly a way you can phrase it.
How far away
Well,
is it?
that's ridiculous.
Oh, you're responsible for this whole thing? This whole mess?
How far away?
Not this whole mess,
So
but
he's
this
at the tree line. You're at the Abyss. He's about 80, 90 feet away.
Fuck. I don't have any way of attacking him without dropping concentration.
You're responsible for this whole mess?
Well, depends on what you refer to as a mess and how you refer to as responsible, but I'm at the very least involved.
The chanting.
Okay, and I'm casting Chaos Bolt at him.
Okay.
Yeah, so Bolter's starting
Yeah.
to walk forward.
120 feet range.
Make your attack roll.
18.
An 18 hits. Roll damage.
And at that, I am dashing towards him.
So 6 damage. That is, well, 3 or
it's-
3.
It's a.
Oh,
it's
no,
a.
that means
It's, it can't chain to anyone. There's no one nearby.
No, it cannot. Well,
It also tells you exactly what element it is. So,
yes.
what element is 3?
A different. Yeah, there's nobody else within 30 feet of him, right?
Nope.
Okay. So,
Except
well,
for a
that's
tree.
perfect. 6 fire damage.
So yeah, so this bolt of fire lashes out. Nix, you dash forward with your blade in hand. The firebolt arcs, hits him, and he just dissipates as the fireball goes through him and hits the tree.
Illusions.
That felt good, at least.
Oh, I guarantee you, I was about
Glad
to do
you
the
feel
same
better.
thing.
Perception check.
Make a perception check as you hear in the back of your head, a little further, a little bit, a little further.
11.
Uh,
But he is directing me to him.
yeah, he is. You
or
feel
something
you feel
that
a
I might
pull.
be able to hit.
You feel a pull in that direction, and you don't see him though. Like all you see is trees.
While I've been having my bow out, waiting
I've
for
had a
anybody else to
shit
come out,
week.
have I seen
I'm
anybody?
chasing after it.
Make a perception check.
Not
Corbin.
at full speed because I'm going to let the rest of them catch up with me. But
Corbin, you do not see anybody else.
Except for the person that said I shouldn't go that direction,
I've got a
running in
fire
that
sword
direction.
out.
Yeah,
Going
you
to
see.
cut something.
You do see Nix with a fire sword running in that direction.
Well, I guess this is what we're doing now, and I start going after.
Fuck's sake. And yeah, he'll
So Nix
Knock.
and Boldrin,
Going to.
Selena, Corbin. Mara disconnected.
Mara.
We
That's fine.
temporarily lost
I'm
Mara.
going to assume Hope is also going.
yeah.
And I'm going to assume Corbin is going. I'm certain.
Yeah, Corbin's gonna put the bow away, pull the shield and spear off his back, and start going around in a roundabout manner so he can flank.
So you all begin to run in that direction, or take off at a brisk pace. 5 following behind a little bit more timidly than she was previously. And
As Boldrin's running, he just kind of grabs his holy symbol and just kind of mutters under his breath, "The flames of war rise again. Light the forge and prepare to smith."
And so you all take off, going through these trees, and you see that as you progress in this direction, the trees progressively get more and more dead, until they're going from rotting to just spindly husks that formerly were trees. And at roughly the time you get to these spindly husks that formerly were trees, you break into a clearing. And you see, in the middle of that clearing, turning around to face you, Umbra, the man who was the vision that you just saw previously, turning around and his mask-like face breaking into a smile. Next to him is a more feminine figure, dressed similarly, but with a complete black mask and glowing white eyes instead of blue. And then beyond them, in a circle, there are 10 other figures, robed in black with skull masks on. Sort of, in these you can all tell now, these are the figures that are chanting.
So
And they're actually wearing masks. Their skull faces aren't moving as they're talking.
Yes, the skull faces are not moving as they're talking. These are definitively masks.
Okay.
And the
Umbra.
the woman standing next to Umbra does not have a mouth. As you enter into the clearing, that pull stops. It seems that when you're in a certain proximity, when you feel as you cross a certain proximity, it stops pulling, but it does start welling, like it's growing larger within you. This feeling of sort of inflation.
given I was
swelling.
pretty near the front, I'm just, if I can reach him, I'm gonna try and swipe at him with my sword.
All right. So we are going to go ahead and initiate combat.
Whoop!
I am.
All right. Well then, I will let you guys adjust your locations as we move over to a battle map that I'm not going to be showing everyone out in the audience because it's literally just an open field with what I just described.
Cool.
Or not.
All right. So Nyx is out in front.
Unfortunately, I'm a short-legged dwarf, so I'm probably like back here.
Yeah, I'm following pretty close behind Nyx.
And I took a roundabout way to flank, so as soon as my thing pops up.
So
Yeah, I'd probably peel off to the side. I'm gonna go here. Maybe.
Like, I'm trying to keep up, but I am a dwarf, and these people are humans and other
Off to the
all
side.
races.
Looks good. Initiative.
Initiative
Oh, that crap.
5.
Crap.
5.
I got 2.
all right. So we have Umbra, Nocta, and the cultists. Umbra going on a 23, Nocta going on a 13, and the cultists going
Just
on
so
a 3.
you know, the cultists are rolling publicly.
Oh. Yeah, I suppose I should.
So they
roll
are.
that.
I need to fix that. I mean, fortunately, their initiative doesn't matter because you can see it, but... Do-do-do. Do-do-do. Always whisper to GM. Da-da-da. Da-da-da. Alright.
Somehow my initiative actually didn't register, but I'm on the.
you-
It didn't register that I rolled, but I'm on the sheet.
Huh. What did you roll?
I did. I clicked, and then nothing showed up.
Oh,
I think
that's
it's your
true.
initiative save from the last combat.
Yeah,
we were
that'd be
in.
your initiative from the last combat. So go ahead and roll it
Okay.
again. Yep.
There we
and
go.
adjusted.
That's more like me.
And
You're
5.
bad at this.
No. Dice hate
Alright.
me.
So, we have Umbra going first on 23, then Corbin, then Nocta, then Nyx, then Selena, then Boldrin, then Cultists, then Hope. But Nyx, you're gonna get the first attack because you were running in, swinging
Okay.
your sword. So, you run right up to Umbra.
Yep.
Make sure your health, all of your. Well, no, you did took damage because you did a thing.
No, I attacked myself
You did-
earlier
you did take
today.
yourself. Everyone has had a long rest, by the way, since the last time you had an encounter. So.
Not in.
I know.
Yeah.
My health is accurate.
There's 2 of us have actually cast 1 spell, so.
2 spells.
All right. So.
All right, you cast Misty
I had to
Step.
use my 2nd level spell because
Yep.
fuck my life.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
There was a
Y'all
little
your
bit of
spells.
let's stop this from happening. Oh wait. Impulse control. 20 better fucking hit.
yes, a 20 hits.
Ah. 9 fire damage.
All right. So you run in and just slash this dude across the chest. Fire rippling down across, and he. You see as the fire slices through, the leather sort of parts and almost becomes shadowy vapor, and then as the blade goes back through, it stitches itself back together. You have no idea what that means. Now we go to the top of the actual round, where it's Umbra's turn. He looks down at you and smiles. And as he smiles, these skeletal, bone-like wings, just almost spectral in nature, just unfold from around him, spreading out and flexing. And I need Nyx, who's the only one in range, to make a charisma saving throw.
Oh, good. Can you tell he's really charismatic from how he talks?
So
No.
you are currently frightened. Status effect frightened.
Damn it.
Which, if somebody could read out for the audience, because I don't have the book. open that page right now.
You cannot willingly
Disadvantage.
move closer to the target, and you have disadvantage on attack rolls as long as they're in your sight range.
Yep.
Yeah. And ability checks, but I'll just put it in chat as well.
So yeah, these skeleton wings, and you can all see these wings as they just sort of spread out and flare. And he looks down at Nyx and just smiles, and in your head you hear, "Why, thank you for coming right to me." And that's his turn, because that takes an action. Corbin.
Fuck you, you're not as creepy as the lady with the god powers.
So Corbin is going to run to, let's see, I can get to right there. And as a bonus action, I can increase the reach of my weapon, as long as it's a spear. And I'm going to just run forward and jab at this dude.
All right, make the attack.
So
So Corbin runs forward, spear in hand, and just sort of hops up onto his toes and extends out with a jab of the spear.
20.
Connecting.
Just like,
Damage.
just like shift your grip on the spear down a bit to make use of the range.
Yep.
10 damage.
Dealing 10 piercing damage. You stab in and pull back out. And as you do, you notice that no blood comes with the tip of your spear. Just shadowy vapor.
Alright. That's different. That's always a good sign. That's me, though.
Alright. Nocta's turn. The woman next to Umbra spins around past him and moves up to the other side of Nyx.
They left my threatened range. Because until
how long does that extended range exist?
until
for?
let me see real quick. For the rest of my turn.
It's no longer your turn.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
it's her turn.
Shit, I thought
her
it was
turn.
the rest of the round.
Not next to the round, the rest of your turn.
Damn it!
So yeah, she spins around and moves around to flank Nyx with Umbra. And just pulls out a longsword and just stabs into Nyx.
Yeah, if it was the rest of the round, it'd be until the start of your next turn.
Does an
Yeah.
18 hit you?
For the podcast listeners, I'm giving our GM a look. Yes.
It's a valid question. You take 6 points of slashing damage as she stabs into you, pulls it back out, and then reverses the grip, and a 23 hits you. So you take 9 points of slashing damage as she brings it back down.
I'm unconscious.
All right.
I mean,
no.
the look is because 18 hits me right now because I don't have a blessing on my armor.
So yeah, this woman spins around to the other side of Nyx, stabs, pulls out, slices, and Nyx just collapses, and you all see the shadowy vapor start to coalesce along Nyx's wounds and pulse out. Which makes it Nyx's turn. Roll a death saving throw. Squishy characters running first and get killed.
I'm not squishy. I'm a druid.
You're squishy.
So,
Oh,
yeah,
that's a hit
squishy.
die, sorry.
That was a hit.
They're right next to each other on the character sheet.
Yeah, it's fair. That's a 4.
Failure.
1 failure.
Oof.
Selena.
All right, I am going to. Shit. There's no
You're not Scanlan.
better option between the two of them. What?
You said you're going to shit, and you said you're not Scanlan.
Oh. I will 5, 10, 15, 20,
God
25,
damn it! Why did both of these things have to be a bonus action to cast?
30. So it's fair to say that Nyx is on the ground right now.
Yes, Nyx is on the ground.
Okay. Then
Fair
I'm
to say my
going to
concentration
cast
spell broke.
Yes.
Burning Hands. Assumedly missing. I'm predicated on the idea that I can do this without hitting Nyx.
Don't
Because
worry about it.
Nyx is on the ground, and Burning Hands fans out horizontally, not diagonal. Or not,
Burning Hands does specify a thin sheet of flame.
It does.
so can I do that without hitting Nyx?
I'll say yes. Normally, I think of Burning Hands as a flamethrower, not as a thin sheet of flame, but I'll say fine. Yeah, you can.
The reason, because it comes out of each of your fingers,
Yeah.
so that's where the fanning comes from.
Yeah, and then it my image is that it then like expands, but either
Wow.
way you can just aim up, and that's fine.
Just go that way,
Just
Yeah.
upwards.
burn their faces.
Yo, you're aiming at their faces, not their bodies. I'll say yes. You can avoid Nyx.
Okay. And let me, something's, oh, that's right, because
because fire expands.
Why is it listed as, I mean, it's not much better either way, but so that's 10 damage. I want to see it. That shouldn't be the correct spell DC unless I'm wrong about something.
8
Not that it's
spell
much
mod
better.
plus your proficiency.
13.
Yeah.
So DC 13 dexterity save.
Yes, and I will.
2 failures.
No, that's fine. Okay, cool.
I rolled an 8 and a 3.
Nice.
10 points of fire damage.
They both
Yup.
take 10 points of fire damage. Alrighty.
And that is my action.
Baldrin.
So I will step my full walking distance forward. And as I'm walking, I just kind of grasp my holy symbol with my shield hand. It is still the flame of life within this. Why am I becoming Sean Connery? Wrong Scottish accent. There is still the flame of
Still
life
the
within this
flame
one.
of life within this one.
Aye.
Ignite and burn again, and I cast Healing Word on Nyx at first level. My Charlemagne.
My Charlemagne.
That's 8 healing for Nyx.
Nyx is awake again, and as the wounds close along Nyx's body, these shadowy pulse sort of sucks back in.
and mark my foes with the wrath of the Forge. And I fling my hand forward and cast Guiding Bolt at Umbra.
All right.
Or at Noctis, because it's the one that's closer.
All right.
Not to spoil that for you, but those are both spells.
Yeah, are we going with the Mercer thing of casting a less than 3rd level, or
Sure.
cantrip only?
Sure.
Cool.
Okay.
I don't care.
Oh,
A 10
well,
misses.
that would have
Aware of it,
addressed.
but that's cool.
A 10 misses, though.
10 misses.
Flies off into space. And then just this bolt, just you launch the bolt, and Nocta sort of looks over her shoulder as you're chanting, and you throw this bolt, and she just goes, whoosh, and it just goes past her, above Umbra's hat, and off into the air.
Mhm.
Cultist turn. The cultist chant picks up in Furor. Other than that, they don't seem to do anything. Hope.
Oh, cultists. And apparently we're forming some sort of orderly queue. So, I don't like orderly queues. Let's ruin this one. And I'm gonna run over here. Do I technically have flanking or not? Or advantage? Or, no. Nyx is alive,
Nyx
so...
is alive. Nyx is
Yep.
also prone.
Okay, but sneak attack is...
Nyx isn't really
not incapacitated
right
and
now.
is within 5 feet.
A sneak attack, yes. Advantage, probably not.
Yeah. I
Sorry.
would get sneak attack.
Yeah, you get,
Okay.
you get sneak attack, but not advantage.
Sweet.
Because Nyx,
Okay.
Nyx is in melee, but Nyx is not threatening currently.
Alright, okay. Cool. So, short sword scimitar.
All right?
That was
A 16 misses. So the as you come in with that short sword and stab, and she just flicks that long sword up and redirects your blade. Tink.
Alright, scimitar.
And then as the scimitar comes in from the side, she just flicks it back the other way and knocks the scimitar off as well.
Alright, well that's disappointing. And that was my bonus action.
From the way she moves, because you are both a rogue and a barbarian, you can tell she's more physically oriented than Umbra is.
Okay, alright. Cool. I'm still learning how 2-weapon fighting works. Second one is that uses up my bonus action, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Then that's my turn.
All right, and top of the round, Umbra. Let's see. Who do I want to... Oh, that seems appropriate. He looks over at Hope. And his mouth starts moving, and none of you hear anything coming out. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, Hope.
All right. I'm not great at this.
Cause fear.
That's a 19, though.
You succeed.
Yeah.
And because you succeed, you only take 11 points of psychic damage.
Okay.
As you hear unintelligible mutterings flow through your head in your mind and causing a burning sensation.
Mm-hmm. Ow.
That makes it Corbin's turn.
Okay, so when I stabbed him, pulled out, did it feel like I actually had felt purchase?
Yeah, you
with the
felt
spear?
purchase. It's just blood didn't come out.
Okay, let's see what happens to these guys. And I'll saunter on down. I'll swing down and stab this cultist.
All right. A 25 hits.
So close to a natural 20. 9 damage.
You run over and just ram this spear into the back of this cultist, who goes, "Bah!" and collapses dead.
Yes.
Alrighty then.
I'll do this.
NPC enemies, not a lot of hit points.
And I will use a bonus action if Umbra comes at me my spear is set to receive a charge. So I'll
Okay.
like stab this guy and then turn and then set it.
Like, stab. What you gonna do?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't want to get stabbed in the back.
That makes it Nocta's turn, who, seeing Hope attack, turns her attention to Hope. Does a 10 misses you, I think.
Yes, it does.
So the longsword lashes out, and you duck underneath it. It then turns around and comes back down because a 20 hits you, I think,
Oh yeah.
but only deals 4 points of damage as it slices across your chest.
Ow.
And where Umbra is very emotive and like conversational, Nocta is very like silent and focused.
Mhm.
Well, that makes it Nyx's turn. Nyx, you're awake on the ground.
Okay. All right. I don't have my fire sword anymore. But bonus action for Shillelagh.
Hit them with the
Back
club.
there.
Hit them with the club.
Yes, like I said,
Really,
I
Shillelagh?
battered the cultist with my stick until either they or I stopped moving. Because that's how cults work. Or that's how Nyx thinks cults work. And I don't have disadvantage because being dead means I'm not afraid anymore because D&D.
Yeah.
And when you lose consciousness,
It
you
is
sort
fun.
of forget any mental effects.
So yeah, you rear back with that quarterstaff and swing in, and he just very casually raises his left hand, and as the quarterstaff swings in, shadows erupt from his palm, forming a long blade of darkness that just intercepts and turns the quarterstaff away.
Okay.
Selena.
All right. I am going to.
In fairness,
Well,
I
this
feel
should
like
be
I
fun if it works. I am going to cast. I mean, this is me. I'm going to cast Chaos Bolt on. Let's start. Actually, hold on. Let me see. I have to plan this out in case this works really, really well, which it won't. Okay. So I'm going to start with the one further south of Nyx, for lack of a better term.
in fairness, I feel like I should point out that the GM does have a Tides of Chaos held up.
I do.
I'm aware.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
I am very well aware.
I do. Make the attack.
Don't you have to declare it before I make the attack?
No, just when you cast a spell.
I just cast a spell. Now I
mean-
make the attack roll. That's
Yeah,
sort of
no, that's
how
fair.
it works.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead and roll D100.
Okay.
I thought the thing we decided was the spell definitely goes
Yeah,
off.
the spell definitely
but
goes
also-
off.
The spell goes off either way. Yes.
Yeah, I was just having the attack roll go off to see if I
I think
got
like there's
multiple things.
I think there's like one or two random effects that don't cause the spell to go off.
11. What's an 11?
I'm not even
Precious?
looking.
On an 11, roll a d10.
Okay.
Oh dear, what's happening?
Not good things.
How big or how have I grown?
You grow 8 inches
Okay.
as you launch this chaos bolt.
Okay. I am now 5.
This
11.
this never wears off, by the way.
You're just now this tall.
You just have gained 8 inches of height.
All your clothes look like they're too short.
This is great.
You are now wearing high waters.
Okay.
it doesn't say until such a time. It just
No,
says
it doesn't, but
gain-
none of them do.
Oh no, several
no, a lot of
them do.
them do. Like you gain resistance to all damage
Like-
for the next minute.
Or illusory butterflies and flower petals flutter in the air within 10 feet of you for the next minute.
Or
Alright,
alcohol
so-
resistance.
So you suddenly grow 8 inches, and the shock of growing 8 inches apparently throws off your aim as this chaos bolt just goes wide.
You
You know, any of them that have a time limit, say what the time limit is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great, I love this idea.
All right, that makes it Boldrin's turn.
Nope.
Oh, wait, no, sorry.
I am spending sorcery points to cast it again.
Okay, cast again.
go chaos bolts.
And roll a d20 for me, unless you're using Tides of Chaos. All right, nothing weird happens.
24.
24 hits.
Readjust your aim and fire again.
You've quickly become accustomed to your newfound height.
So 7.
One is acid, isn't it?
I choose
Yeah,
between
yeah,
which
yeah,
of,
I know.
of the two.
But one is acid and 6 is what?
I'm
Thunder?
looking at it. Hold on. Poison or acid?
Both good options.
No, acid
All right.
for sure.
So yeah, this green viscous sphere that Selena summons launches out and connects with Umbra, sort of sizzling and burning away bits of his armor, which then stitch themselves back together out of shadows.
That's my turn.
Now it's Baldrin's turn.
Grasp my holy symbol. Strike the hammer upon the anvil of war. I call upon the force of the smith. And I cast Serious Weapon Center, putting the weapon right next to Corbin, right next to Umbra.
Okay. I had a thing for that, didn't I? What kind of weapon is it?
It's a blacksmith's hammer.
Hammer.
And I'm gonna make an attack with it. 23.
A 23 hits. Roll damage. Who are you attacking?
Umbra.
Okay. Roll damage.
9 force damage.
All right. So, this hammer smashes into Umbra, and there's a radiant burst as Umbra evaporates, just and explodes in shadows. There's
I take-
just a soft of his hat floating to the ground.
And I take two steps forward to Hope, and I put my hand on her shoulder. And the forge of life brings renewal, and I cast Cure Wounds.
And Nyx, you feel that sort of swelling feeling inside you stop. And it shrinks. And in the back of your head, you hear, "Well, then I guess I'll find you next time, little bit. Oh, by the way, you might want to run." Because as Umbra dies, the cultists behind him collapse in on themselves. Their body is sort of disintegrating, including the dead one, folding in and turning into shadows that coalesce into the middle of this circle that they were creating. And from the shadow sort of bulges up and out, and from it steps as it coalesces into this creature. massive in size, bigger than the ogres that you previously have faced. It steps into reality, formed from the essence of these now gone cultists. And it doesn't look like anything any of you have ever seen before. It is massive and spiky, shadow-made flesh and bone with irregular edges and protrusions all up and down it, and two glowing white specks for eyes with massive gnashing teeth where its jaw should be, where its mouth should be. And as it steps into existence, and that last little bit of chuckle fades in the back of Nyx's mind, is where we will call our session today to a close. So, we have been Final Show Films. We produce a wide variety of content every day of the week. You can check us out on our website at finalshowfilms.com. You also check us out on our Patreon page at patreon.com/fsfilms. If you'd like to support us financially, you can do so on our Patreon page. Thank you to all of our Patreon supporters, especially our $25 tier supporters, Chris Comfort, Antitonic, and Cat Waterflame, without whom we wouldn't be able to do quite as much as we do already. Also, thank you for 100 bits, Cat, earlier today. 100 bits via Twitch, because we are Twitch affiliates here at twitch.tv/Sensaku, and you can support us by throwing bits at us or by subscribing to the channel. We appreciate all forms of that. You can also let people know, because when we get to 500 followers from where we're at now, we can become Twitch partners, which means we get a larger chunk of change from all of that. And we appreciate all of the things that you guys do. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe below. And we also like to thank the folks over at 411mania.com. Jeremy, tell us a little bit about 411mania.com.
411mania is a pop culture site that covers everything fanboys could be interested in. Movies, TV, comics, wrestling, MMA, video games, music. We've got everything from up on the site right now. Everything from James Cameron explaining why Wonder Woman was actually a step backwards.
What?
You've got to read it. It's the most fucking ridiculous thing.
I have to read this now.
Ongoing spoilers from the NXT tapings that are going on right now. A little bit of much needed clarification over the status of the Batman movie and where it relates to the DC Extended Universe after some really strange stories that came out this week. News out of Gamescom, everything Floyd Mayweather related, everything about the moron John Jones and his failed drug test. All that stuff, 411mania.com.
Yeah, we appreciate them and for putting all of our stuff up there as well, and putting up with me being late on my updates. And we appreciate all of you watching.
It's okay, I haven't gotten to them.
There at home. So yeah, we will see you all next time. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.